Hi everyone, Whitney with Girl Friday Crafts here. I am going to do a project using the Club Couture April Bold Lemons transfer. And I'm going to try something that I don't normally do. So we're going to chalk on the back of this. I did this on a live this past weekend. This is from the 5x7 outside the box frame. So these inserts just come out. This is the Groovy Florals pattern with pucker, berry, peachy keen in the hot mess technique. So I want to do the other side of it, and what I'm going to try to do is actually layer these two transfers on top of the other. So we're going to do this one first and then dry it, and then I'm going to put this on top of it. Maybe. I don't know. We're going to see how it works. I'm going to open this up first. And so this is a Club Couture design. If you are not familiar, Club Couture is a monthly subscription program. Every month you get a project that is exclusive to club members. It's not available for retail purchase. Designers can purchase it after the 15th of every month if there are any left, for designers that don't subscribe to Club. But if we want to get it automatically, we have to subscribe to Club as well. And you get a transfer, a B-size transfer, a surface, a couple of paste packets to go with it, and then sometimes there's little embellishments or ephemera. So this month the surface was an acrylic board with some twine to loop through and hang it. And I don't honestly remember what the paste colors were. I know it was a yellow and a green. I think it might have been bumblebee and melon, and then maybe guava. But I want this one to kind of correspond with the colors that I've got on here. So I have this paper towel down because if this moves, I don't want it to scratch on my desk in case and mess up the paste that's already on there. And we're going to cut the transfer. So everybody does this a little different. Some people prefer to cut the backer sheet, and if you do that, I would suggest marking on the back of the backer sheet in one of the top corners. Be consistent left or right so that you know how the transfer goes back on there. And also, if you're doing multiple projects at the same time, I would also suggest writing on the back of the backing sheet the name of the transfer, because sometimes it's hard to figure out what goes back on what, and they don't all fit quite the same. I started doing that. I started out cutting the backer sheet, and then especially with some of the larger transfers that cut apart into 10 or 12 different pieces, trying to keep track of all that was just too much for me. So I saw another designer on a video, it was Debbie Westbrook actually, cut the transfer with the backing sheet intact. And while it's a little unruly sometimes, especially if the transfer is large, for me, from a storage perspective and keeping all of the pieces of one transfer together, it just works better. So that's what I've been trying to do lately. Now if I'm doing a class, I'll cut the transfer with the backer sheet because I don't want my class participants to have to go through the process trying to figure out how to cut the transfer while keeping the backer sheet intact. So we're going to defuzz the transfer. It's a brand new transfer. So the process of defuzzing is to remove any of the sticky, well, not any of the sticky, remove a lot of the sticky, so that when you lift your transfer off the surface, the transfer doesn't pull, you don't pull paste with it, all of that. And I'm doing this quite a bit this time because I'm gonna try to do this without waxing, at least not until we do the second layer, and then I'll need to wax on top of some of the paste because that will pull. I'm trying to defuzz this about 10 or 12 times. This is the Chalk Couture fuzzing cloth. You do not need to have one of these. I like it, but a microfiber cloth will work just fine. Cotton t-shirt will work. Anything that won't leave lint on your surface. So if you're doing the other side of an already chalked surface, I always recommend making sure that you have it turned the right way. I've chalked a few things upside down, and with this it doesn't really matter which direction it goes. It can go any direction, but I'm going to go this way with it. We're going to lay the transfer down. And I'm going to use my finger to kind of push and make sure. That's a little crooked, so I'm going to try and straighten it up a little bit here. Then try to push and make sure that we get all the bubbles out. Bubbles will make paste bleed through your design, and that can be fixed. It's not the end of the world if that happens, but I just prefer that it not. I am prepping for an event here in a week from this coming Sunday, and so as part of my chalk couture business, I sell finished products, and I am working on products for that event. So, you know, the less I have to go back and try to fix things, the better. It just helps me move along faster. So we're gonna do the pesto first. I'm gonna do the leaves and pesto, and we're gonna do the chalk and pull method. Actually, I'm gonna do this in sections. So we're gonna do about half of it and then lift it and then do the other half. This is a good way to do multiple colors at the same time. So what you do is you take your paste, and I'm going to do the leaves in green, so I'm going to get some of these leaves done here. Get this one up here. It is raining outside. It has been dark and dreary all day today, and it's making me very sleepy. Get this, try not to hit my lemon with the green. Okay, so there's those. I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to grab another squeegee, and for the lemons I'm using Pucker, which is the Chalk Couture color of the month for April. It is sold out, but we just found out today that they have restocked it tomorrow and Thursday only. I've been with Chalk for almost a year, and they have never done that with a color of the month. Now, they've made some very popular colors of the month part of the permanent collection. They've brought them back later. I've never had them reissue a color of the month in the same month, but this has turned out to be a very popular color. Citrus is very on trend right now, and people are really loving this shimmery yellow. I will be honest, I wasn't that wild about it when I first saw it. I ordered it anyway, just to have. I like shimmer colors. But the first time I used it, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm in love with this color. I'm going to do this lemon. And I might be pushing my luck here because I can tell some of this green is drying already. And you're going to hear my dogs bark because I think my son just walked in from school. They must have known it was him because they did not bark. Okay, set that aside. So then what you do with the chalk and pull method is you lift up your transfer just off of what you chalked. Oh, that actually worked out just fine. Very gently, and then you lay it back down. And I did this once in a class with some folks who were really used to painting, and it freaked them out. They're like, wait, that's not gonna mess up when you lay it back down. It's not gonna mess up your paste, and it really doesn't. You know, every once in a while I've had small problems with it. Nothing that can't be remedied. But it's a good way to do multiple colors. Now, my favorite way to do multiple colors is the hot mess technique that I used on the other side of this transfer. And if I've done some videos on that, and I promise you I will do more, especially with florals, because I think it just looks so pretty. Okay, so now we're gonna chalk these other lemons. Very carefully as I get close to where my green is. We have smaller tools, the detail tool or the multi-tool have smaller squeegee tips on them, and actually are really good for getting into small spaces or getting into the space in between where one color is really butting up to the other one. So that would have been a handy tool for me to have out for this project. And for the layer, I might actually need to pull that out and use that. I'm just chalking this. I have not used the acrylic board that came with this project yet. I'm very excited about it, and I have an idea. I actually ended up with 2 of them. I ended up with 2. And so I'm going to use one for the actual project, but I have an idea for something else that I want to do with it. I'm very excited about that. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up from here, because that's where we started and it's not stuck down as much. I'm going to lift really slowly. If you go slow and you look, if there's a place where your paste did not completely stick, or where you maybe missed a spot, you can go back over it. Okay, so that's the first layer. So I'm gonna close my paste up. I need to put pesto on my wish list. I am running low. And then I'm gonna use my drying tool and dry this, so forgive me, it's gonna get loud. When you're drying, if you can angle your project the right way in the light, you can actually see it dry. So that's helpful. Now the shimmery stuff is a little bit more difficult. It doesn't go matte like the other colors do. So it's a little harder to tell. I just love that. I'm not sure if you can see it, very well in the video, but the shimmer on this pucker is just gorgeous. Just very carefully. Okay, so those seem to be dry, and it's going to take me a minute to get all of everything situated here, so I'll be able to dry a little bit more. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the other half of the transfer, which is just lemon slices and some flowers, and going to defuzz this, and I'm going to defuzz this quite a bit. So I usually defuzz 5 or 6 times. This one I'm doing about 10 or 12. Sorry, making my camera shake. And I am going to, I'm going to figure out how I want to layer this. So I want to fill in some of the wood spots, like with the orange slices and the little flowers. Oh, I might come to regret this. Okay, I'm going to try to do this without waxing. So I'm going to put this full lemon slice up here in this corner. And just, I'm going to push it down, push the transfer down, but very, very lightly. And then we're going to chalk this lemon slice and pucker. And then these other leaves, there are some leaves right there. In pesto. I think I got a little color mixed together there, but that's okay. And I'm going to hit a couple of other leaves while I'm here. Just to get things done more quickly. I'm going to do this little leaf and dot right there. So I'm not waxing or not chalking too much on top of the other areas where I've chalked. I'm hoping that having defuzzed the transfer really well, Okay, so that worked. So I'm going to lay that back down because then I'm going to get these flowers right here. And we're using berry for this because that goes with the colors that I used on the other side. That, and I am going to use, so this is the detail tool. No, multi-tool. I get them backwards, but it has this squeegee tip on it. And it's good for getting into some small spaces. Now this is going to go off the edge, and there's some little dots in the transfer, so I'm going to hit those too, just to give a little bit of color and bring in more of the berry, tie it more together with the other side. There's a, yeah, I was going to do him down there, wasn't I? Okay. There's a half lemon slice on here that I wanted to put down in the corner. Hit some more of these little dots. And there's this one flower right here I'm gonna hit, and I might be getting overly ambitious. Okay, I set this down, and we're gonna pull the whole thing up. Very carefully up. Okay, then, okay. So it's a little tricky. I was wanting to get this half lemon square because I have this flower right here. You can't really see it, but it's wet. And so if okay, you know what? I am not going to push my luck. This is my first real foray into layering that much. And I actually think it looks pretty cute. What I might do is wash that transfer and then come back and do either another lemon slice down here or the half lemon down here. The flowers, I'm not even sure if you can see the flowers. There's one right there. There's one right there. That's just a little pop of color. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how that turned out. So I will post the finished product because I do feel like I need something, you know, kind of in that corner right there. So I will share that, but hope you liked the project. I will share a cart link, and it will, well, actually I won't, because this was the club design, so unfortunately I can't share a cart link, but I will share a link to sign up for Club Couture so you can take a look at it. It's a great way if you're interested in chalk to get some exposure to it without spending a whole lot of money, because you get everything you need in the kit. You get the paste, you get a squeegee, you know, you get all the things. So it's a really fun way to kind of get started. So I will post a link for that. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and come back and see what I make next.